Now, the crises gripping the country have again exposed how bitter and hateful the Green left are in this country. There's no issue that seems capable of trumping their toxic and personal obsession with abusing Conservatives. When Peter Dutton set up a GoFundMe page so that he and other locals could donate to help out people who are badly affected by the flooding in Queensland in their local community, he got nothing but hatred. Never mind that as Defence Minister he'd mobilised the military to help. Never mind the federal government had released disaster payments already and was working, of course, with both state governments on their responses. Now, none of that mattered. Apparently, Dutton chipping in and helping his community was an abomination. Leading the charge was a former Prime Minister, no less, in Kevin Rudd. He talked about what he called the shambolic excuse for a government, and he criticised the launching of a GoFundMe page as inappropriate, saying it's the role of government to act in natural disasters, you fool, rather than subcontract out to the community. What indescribable bitterness there from Rudd. He seemingly is unaware that the front line, the first defence in natural disasters, is people looking after other people, people looking after family, friends, neighbours, and of course looking after strangers too. That's being an Australian. That's being human. That's mateship. But this also seems to be unfamiliar to the ABC, the national broadcaster, because it too took up this sickening attack on Peter Dutton.
What's going on with your colleague Peter Dutton setting up this GoFundMe page for his local community in Brisbane, asking people there to contribute to disaster recovery?
Well, I think this is a complete storm in a teacup, and it just shows you what a sewer, Michael, Twitter is, indeed some aspects of social media are.
Yeah, well said by the Treasurer. Hatred really gets in the way for the left, doesn't it? Rudd's wife, Therese Rain, was sucked in by an obvious parody account, with the word parody in its title, and criticised the Prime Minister for not doing anything about the natural disasters over the weekend. He was actually in Queensland focusing on the floods on that very day, yesterday. Dear oh dear. And when British commentator Piers Morgan, soon to join us with a nightly show here on Sky, when he tweeted about his 45-minute meeting with Scott Morrison and other News Corp executives last week, the leftists jumped on board again, a long line of them. Activists, ABC presenters yet again, Guardian journalists and Labor MPs attacked the Prime Minister for meeting Morgan while there were natural disasters and a European war to deal with. The only trouble was the meeting was last week, before the Russian invasion, before the floods. And as it happens, just hours after a similar meeting Morgan and News Corp had with the Labor leader, Anthony Albanese. People, check your facts and check your hatred.